right, you guys. Stop me if you've heard this before. Well, we're going to try to record you guys on video, talking about your childhoods and talking about all that fun stuff.
I told them we've got a good memory and we'll know if they lie.
That's right. But,
They didn't bring me any. They didn't arrest me either. So
okay, we're gonna make another attempt to record you guys talking about your childhoods and about when you were kids and your favorite memories. We've tried several times and it's fallen through each time, but we figure you guys are old enough you don't remember us doing it anyway, so it'll just be like too old. All right, we'll start with an easy question, Dad. We'll go around the table. Give me your name and how old you are.
Carl Sanders, and I'm 72 years and 7 days.
That's right. That's correct. Uncle Red?
Leroy
Sanders, 69 years old.
Now it's your turn.
Rosie Sanders, and I'm 77 years old.
You left out the lead.
Rosie, Mary, Spencer, Sanders, more Cantrell.
Sanders.
And Sanders goes 80 years old.
80 years young.
And 20 days. I don't know when you done first.
That leaves you at Pearl.
Eliza, Pearl, Lindsay. And I'm going to be 74 in October.
Okay, y'all all passed the first test. You remembered your own names, and you remembered how old you are. So now we're going to move on to the tougher questions.
She said Rosie.
You said it wrong too. You left out
Spencer.
Sanders.
And then she said Sanders after that.
You didn't say Sanders.
I forgot that.
So let's put it outside.
All right. Hey, Rosie, we're going to start with you. I'm going to ask each of y'all your earliest childhood memory. What's your earliest memory of your childhood?
I remember when Carl was born, I guess, my earliest. I don't remember that. But she was wonderful. She was the only one born in the hospital. I don't remember when Sandy was. I don't remember her birth. But she was born at home. But I do remember Carl.
All right.
Is that what the question is, when somebody was born?
No,
Earliest memory.
and Sandy, we want to know what your earliest childhood memory is. What's your earliest childhood memory?
The thing that really stands out to me was when World War II ended, when everyone went outside with banging cans all over and everything. It was so exciting.
How old were you when that happened? What's it, 19?
45 maybe? I mean, that was the year 45. I guess I was about 7. I'm sure there's other memories, but that's just one that stands out.
Okay. And Pearl, what about you? Earliest childhood memory?
My earliest memories playing out in the scenery with my brothers. We were probably 3, 4, 5 years old. We played out there when we were 1, 2, just playing out in the scenery. You know what scenery is?
I was about to ask you, what is a shinnery?
It's kind of like the woods, but it's not. Huh?
It is.
Kind of like the woods.
Sandy ground and full of just shin oaks. Shin oak is a little small oak tree that doesn't ever get over more than about 10 feet tall. It's called a shinnery because that's where the shin oak grows.
And my mother would trust us out there. She let us play, and she even let us. They tried to make chocolate out there. We had a little fight when they tried to make chocolate. We had fun.
All right, Dad, your turn.
My earliest memory, I was carrying a gallon jug, glass jug, and it had a crack in the lip of it, up in the mouth, and I was carrying it. don't like tree, I really,
I
really
was
can't.
thinking,
And probably just drink water or something out of it. And this puppy dog jumped over me and knocked me down. And I cut my finger. Which one was it? This one, right across there. And never got it sewn up. Mom soaked it in coal oil. And that was it.
Wow.
So you can still see the scar right there.
How old were you then?
Probably 3 or 4. That's it.
All right. Uncle Red, your last. What do you got?
I think the earliest memory I have is one year we had a tornado, and I was about 3 years old, and on the way to the storm cellar, my dad was had me by the hand, pulled me across the yard, and I fell down, and the water was flooding in our yard, and I was spiraling across the yard during the tornado. He had to chase me down and take me to the storm cellar.
I don't remember that, I must have been already down in there.
Well, you were pretty good in there comes to the snakes.
That's probably where we did it first day, and that was all we had to do, we just slide down the rest of the way.
Red clay steps, nothing else to play. That was the steps.
So there was that much water to where you were caught up in it and you were
Sitting above the yard.
Wow.
A lot of pearls returned.
I don't know what the question was.
Yep.
Oh, well, it is.
In the card game, sorry.
Okay.
Now, let me,
She's not the only question yet.
I can't do it all. Okay, go.
let me ask you guys to share, 4 of you, the other 4 of you, to share a memory, or it can be, a couple memories if you want, of Uncle Red growing up. What are some memories you have of Uncle? Let me start with his brother. What memories do you have of your little brother?
He followed me everywhere I went. I couldn't get rid of him. We tried. Pearl Mountain, I remember we had to go to the mailbox.
It was his fault, whatever it was.
It was a long way to go, at least a mile. We had to walk down the mailbox and get the mail. And he had to go with us. And he wouldn't stay at home. So we decided after we went to the mailbox, got the mail, that we would cut across the field and go meet Daddy.
I didn't do that.
It's just her idea. We were going to ride home on the tractor then. So we went down there and he wouldn't keep up. So we left him. And it was just about dark. And the cavalry started coming out and waving away. And he started crying. And I wanted to leave him behind and she wouldn't let me.
That's good, that's good. We're glad you're still here, Uncle Red.
Yes.
And Sandy, what about you? You have memories of little brother Leroy over there?
When he was climbing a tree, and there was a snake up there.
Mulberry tree.
There was a snake up there, so he turned loose and he fell and he landed on the plow. Just about. Barely missed the plow. And that really, it was probably as high as from here to the ceiling that he fell. I'm surprised he didn't get hurt. He was probably
Maybe it hurt, but we wouldn't let him come on there, we'd be in trouble because we weren't supposed to be climbing up there.
He was about 3 or 4.
That's what I remember. That was really scary.
By the time he was 6, we already left the farm.
Well, I don't know how old he was. He shouldn't have been up in that tree.
We wanted to see what was in the bird nest.
There was a snake in
There
there.
was a rattlesnake, probably.
No,
A
that's
snake, but I know, okay. But that's me, okay.
And Rosie, memory of little
I
Leroy?
don't remember much about his younger days, except he was very honorary.
Was?
He
Still
was
is.
always in trouble. But he stayed with me when he was a baby, when he was little, before we started school. He stayed with me, babysitting. Mother was working, wasn't she? I was 8 months pregnant. He climbed up the tree and I had to go up after him.
8 months pregnant, you climbed the
He
tree?
refused to come down. Yes, he refused, and I had to go up after him.
That was in 1955.
Remember
Right
that?
before Mary Jane was born.
Oh my goodness.
Pearl?
Well, my memory is of Brad and Charlie, really, because they always loved to go to their friend's house and ride our bike. We had one bike that would save money for a long time. And it was rare they had their boys' bike because there's two of them and there were one me. So they took it over miles away to their friend's house to play. And it was a gravel road there. And those guys got over there and were going down the hill. And they had racing down the hill. And they had a terrible crash.
And he wouldn't stay up at the top of the hill.
I was not there, but they had a terrible crash. And somebody came, nobody had a way to come over and tell me, because somebody came over and told me at the house. And Mother was way back in the peanut field, working in the field. I ran all the way back there to get her. And got her, we had to finally get up there, and they both were in the had to go to the hospital. And I was so very bad. But they had those things, all over we got.
It's his fault.
Y'all got all scratched up going down the hill.
Gravel, we had to go behind and pick out the gravel out of her skin.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it a steep hill?
Oh yeah, it was really steep.
Yeah.
For West Texas, it was a steep hill. Gravel road.
They were pretty young, weren't they? Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, what about Charlie? Uncle Red, we'll start with you. What memories do you have of that guy sitting next to you?
Well, Charlie and I was always fighting because he wouldn't let me have my way. No matter what I wanted to do, he wouldn't let me do it. And I was always trying to whoop him. I would fight, and I never did whoop him. He had arms about that much longer than mine. And he'd hold me back and hit me. Wouldn't let me get close enough to hit him, but he'd hit me. And
And I had to be taking care of him, trying to break my
he
heart.
wouldn't cooperate. He wouldn't let me play with him. Mean to me, so he kept fighting me.
Oh man. Nathaniel, what about you?
I think probably my earliest, my thoughts about Charlie was that he was always really a good kid. He never gave anybody any trouble and everything. I thought he just always, Red was little, he was full, and Charlie was just a good kid. He just tried to look out for his little brother.
I was afraid of what you'd see me.
I can't remember anything bad that Charlie did. Rosie probably
Like
can't.
that.
Rosie, you got anything?
I
Rose
remember
can't wear glasses.
Charlie was so heavy when he was born. He weighed almost 10 pounds.
What?
9 pounds, 10 ounces.
Wow.
And
You were weighing that?
I was just about to be, so I had to carry him around. And he weighed as much as I did, just dragged around.
On her hip.
On my hip, I carried that kid.
And dislocated the receptor.
No way to eat.
But he wasn't a good kid when he grew up a little bit. He was heavy when he was little, but he's my brother. I guess, not a special memory except that I usually was the caregiver at times, and I had to break them up all the time because you would always get beat up so bad, so I would have to take you and put it between my legs and hold on to it. If you didn't have to Charlie, you could get beat up again. And I didn't want him to get beat up. So that was.
And I
You
remember
were
something
being
else.
bad.
I remember something else about your father that I had forgotten for a minute. When he was born, Daddy was in the Army, and Mother took all 4 of us to El Paso, where Dad was stationed, and she took us to a movie. And Charlie had a pacifier, and he dropped it, and everybody was crawling around on the floor trying to find his pacifier because he was yelling so loud. But that's one thing I remember. You probably don't.
Wasn't there a story about a not so delicious sandwich that somebody made for you one time, Dad?
They're afraid to tell that. They're embarrassed.
That was from Pearl.
I was going to live forward.
That was me. I remember when Uncle Red was born, where I asked me that.
I want to get that sandwich story on video.
Rosie,
He was always hungry. We could not feed him. We always had that something.
And we always wanted to play with you guys, and you wouldn't let us.
And when Red was born, we played out the chicken house on over past Red. And he was crying. He was not just crying. I mean, top of his voice, you could hear him up the hill of the house of everyone.
Because he was born in the house at home.
We didn't have anything to feed him, so we fixed him a sandwich. And he ain't that in China.
Anything else I would do.
So 2 pieces of bread with
With chicken stuff in it.
Not stuff.
chicken droppers.
yeah.
Charlie talked about it.
Sorry, we'll bleep that out.
And he ate it.
I did, we did things and I did.
He did, I didn't.
I wouldn't do that stuff.
We had to put something in his mouth. We wouldn't try. That's all we had. We
You
had,
had to stay outside.
yeah, we had to stay in the chicken house.
So they was that. Now, what about Aunt Pearl memories? Aunt Rosie, you start that off. Do you have memories? What memories do you have of Aunt Pearl growing up?
Something about Aunt Pearl. She was a favorite child. She was one of the favorites. She was even more strong than Red and Mother. Dad, that was so pretty.
That's why they always got along like this.
We didn't have shoes or anything. We had to take her shoes off, but she had a pair of leather shoes that had all, and she didn't have to walk them, and he'd carry her around so she wouldn't get dirty.
Aunt Sandy?
No, I'm going was when I was a teenager, and she was 4 years younger than me, but I was real thin. And no matter what I owned, she thought she could wear it. She'd rip the zippers out and all back it up.
She's stuck in there.
That's my, I have a little sister that thought she could have all my stuff.
You worked for her. You worked for her. You got family insurance.
What about you, Dad?
Pearl always thought she was the boss of me.
You don't want
She was not the boss of me. I had a hard time convincing her that she was not the boss of me. And I could beat her up most of the time.
You did not. Most of the time.
She was always telling me what to do, trying to make me do something or not do something. And I had to beat her up a lot.
It was crazy. Everybody had to
Just Charlie, he had some sweet thing down there.
I do. I mean, she always felt like she needed to tell me how to do things. I never listened to her. Never did what she said. Never worried about it. I just went ahead and did what I wanted to do and ignored her. That's my earliest memory of her.
Okay, Aunt Pearl, you can start us off on Aunt Sandy. What do you remember about Aunt Sandy growing up?
The earliest memory,
Or just any memory?
a favorite memory.
Was that what it's supposed to be? Favorite?
Certainly.
Well, we did earliest childhood memory, then we were doing
Earliest childhood.
favorite memory of each of these people.
I guess the favorite memory of her is she let me do things with her. And when she met that special guy, they didn't let me go on dates with him. You guys let me go on dates with you sometimes, and I would just sing, I would love to sing. And they just understood. I'm like, yeah, and they were really nice to me. I remember that. She let me borrow some clothes without me taking them out the clothes.
Aunt Rosie?
My earliest memory of her was when we was about 4 and 5 years old. And we went out to my uncle And she and I was riding in the Rosie seat. And I got out and was having push off the sand, and they run off the plane. And I was sitting there, we were waiting, and he was like, we'll never see it again. And my favorite memory was her, I guess, was when we run around together as teenagers. We had boyfriends together.
She was that me type, huh?
So I guess that would be my favorite memory. We had some good times together. You didn't know, did you? No, I don't think you did.
Uncle Red, what do you remember about Nancy?
When Sandy was young, when she was at home, she lived at home, she was always so much bigger than me that she could always make me mine. She'd make me mine and whoop me or beat me up or something. She'd make me mine. But I found out pretty soon that if I was nice to her, she would be nice to me. And
I would too.
what I enjoyed the most was that when she did something like went out with Ed on a date or something, she took me with her.
You didn't go out there.
If I was good. If I wasn't good, she wouldn't let me do that.
Dad, what about you? You got anything?
I don't think I ever got to go when you had dates with that whole lot.
I thought there was anything I ever remember being nice.
You were too big.
I didn't care. I remember when she brought him out to the farm, though. He seemed like a pretty nice guy, but he sure didn't understand about farm life.
It wasn't the barn, it was when you lived in town. Telling how
They still pick cotton now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when he was in town, he came to wash, he needed to wash his car.
He came to work in the hayfield, too. I remember that.
How come?
He was helping to load hay on that wagon in Bermuda shorts.
That was not smart.
I remember back when I had a boyfriend, I've been married almost 60 years.
I remember what Ed came to the house.
Now you can, I
Yeah.
don't.
Are you talking about him?
Yeah,
More than 16 years.
Pardon?
He helped us load hay on the wagon in Bermuda shorts. He was loading up on that.
And then you got it all angry.
And I remember when she left home, I was so sad. She went to work in town, she got to live in town. God, what is she? So smart. She able to do that. I never knew how to do that.
Okay, now, last but certainly not least, what do y'all remember about Rosie? Pearl, who start? Favorite memory, best memory?
I always thought she was a sweetheart. Thank you. That's your mom. That's all. That's all.
My turn.
Sure.
I remember when she went to school at the little schoolhouse down the road, and I was so impressed with what she would bring the stuff home, and she had books that she was learning Spanish in elementary school. Was it?
That's not true.
Not Spanish anyway. She brought books home, and she would practice being a teacher to teach me how to read or whatever she was doing.
And also, mother, we didn't know that we couldn't read.
Mother couldn't read. Rosie could.
I was my first grade. But did you know that she was learning too?
But I remember her teaching me how to read.
And Grandma was learning how to read?
So,
But we didn't know that mother didn't know how to read.
all right.
But she was learning when Rosie would bring the books home?
She would take my attention.
Yep.
And what did you say?
Am I saying something about who?
Rosie, favorite memory, best memory of Aunt Rosie?
The same old story. She always thought she could be boss.
I wasn't boss.
Even though she was only this tall.
And we would argue, and Daddy would make us put on boxing gloves and fight. And she'd always beat me up. And I'd run away from home, and I'd walk all the way to the mailbox, and they couldn't get me. So always my best friend. When she went on deck, she let me go with her.
I thought you were going to tell a story about mother's treasured dishes and the cabinet that was up there. And how somebody climbed up on there and made it fall over and broke all mother's dishes.
I think she did. Mother almost never had anything.
Mother never knew, well, she never admitted who did it, but we all knew Rosie did it.
They all said, but mother had a cabinet with the shelves were way up here. We had to climb on top of a can, not get the dishes, sweep the yard and sweep all the hand floor and climb on it to get to it. And we had a scrub short, I think that's what we had. And they said I probably pull the dishes off now. Or she never had a good set of dishes. That was the best set of dishes she ever had.
What about you, Uncle Red? Memories of Aunt Rosie?
Rosie, my mother went to work when I was around 4 years old, I suppose, and she told Rosie to take care of her. And she's been taking care of me ever since, and she still takes care of me. So, I had no problem with that because Mama told me that Rosie was going to take care of me, and Mama told Rosie that Rosie was going to take care of me, but she did pull a switch on me several times and make me mine, but it wasn't too bad. I really enjoyed being with Rosie because she'd always take care of me.
She was everybody's second mother.
Well, somebody had to be in charge when the parents weren't there. So
We didn't want
we
you
had
to
to
be.
be on
Pearl always thought she should be in charge, but we always let Rosie do it.
I had a good idea.
And I had to strap down the artist sometimes with an iron skillet.
I can steal it, yeah, all right.
I did.
So we had one that
I was threatened, never to give her a lot, and do the work.
all right.
What about, what are some of your lasting memories of your mom? Hey, Pearl, you want to start?
Mom,
Who start?
Or somebody,
To her mom.
Yeah.
Mom was always
I
my
was talking. For somebody who never had an education, she kept wanting us back, you know, do the best. It must have been hard to come to my college, go to me for their happiness and things. She didn't have nice clothes and everything. She really was, and that's been hard of her to act, you know, to feel she could go in those places. Must have been hard. And I appreciated her. She was there.
That's wonderful.
I'm sorry.
Dad, what about you?
I remember Mom as being the person that was always the steady rock. I mean, things could go wrong. Daddy could be a horse's butt,
Which he was.
and he was at times.
When I was there.
Daddy taught us how to work really hard, but he taught us how to play really hard. But Mother was always there as the anchor. She would be with us and do everything she could to help us, whether it was to get our clothes, help us get our college tuition, or just to keep us from being too despondent or too unhappy because we were poor and didn't know it. We were rich in love because of her.
That's awesome. Who wants to go next? Uncle Red?
I was always amazed at her ability to do things. Like when they were telling about me crawling up a mulberry tree. Well, she came out of the house to make sure I was okay, and she went back in the house and got a 22 rifle. And she shot that snake in the head out of the tree. She shot that snake in the head. And she always worked.
She could work harder than any man, twice as big as she was. And she did.
She worked.
When I was in the field, pulling cotton, she could pull more cotton than a grown man could. Faster.
The day before I was born, she pulled 400 pounds of cotton to death.
Fish cotton.
Picked it, and she would have to make tiles because she couldn't.
But she was always also the mother chicken here. I'm taking this.
She worked and gave us so that we could have education. That's it.
She worked in that old sewing factory for all those years. Not for herself.
Her work.
Get him on the stuff on the weekend, you know, she didn't think about it. She did not talk about it. But she was always there. And she was at church. She was a bedrock in that church.
She took us to church.
And she did. She went to church with us, and she taught the little bitty kids Sunday school with a little card.
She would think Sunday school if she couldn't read.
Yeah, but she could tell the story.
She would have to memorize the story and then try to teach it at Sunday school.
And if we didn't behave, she would reach over and push a hook down of our leg. That hurt forever. That's the hardest pinch that anybody in the world.
And you're not supposed to call her out in church.
We learned not to sit with her.
But she was always there for other people. If somebody had an old person at home or something that was dying, needed somebody to sit with, she'd go and sit with them all night or whatever. She was that kind of person, always caring for other people.
Yes, Sandy, you got
As you can tell, Mom was all our hero. She was a superhero, and no matter which one of us it was, she took care of any situation we had. I don't care if it was minute or huge, she was always there to take care of it. And, you know, I had a lot of situations with Dad being, you know, as soon as I turned 18, I moved out. I couldn't stand being around Dad anymore. But one of the gals I went to live with had 2 children, and she and I were sharing the rent. And all of a sudden, she decided to leave and go back to her husband, and I had to pay the rent, and I couldn't do it. I was trying to work at the sewing factory, and work at a cafe, and work somewhere else. I don't remember, driving or something, trying to pay my rent, and Dad wouldn't let me come back home. But Mother made it happen, and I came back home. And I stayed there until I met Ed and married him. But, you know, we all love our dad, but he was not a father, so I'm so proud of you guys for being such good fathers. And Mother really, like I said, she was everybody's hero. And she really, really enjoyed life. There was times on me when we lived in Rochester, Dad would go off and leave us, you know, for several days. And Mother, I don't think she knew how to play a guitar, but she had some kind of guitar, and she'd have all of us all tucked up to her playing guitar and singing to us. And the coyotes would be, you know, so scary. But for some reason, Mother made everything all right. I don't know if y'all remember that.
I remember when you talk about tornadoes, Saturday morning, would disappear, and we were all, he would go to town and do things, and we were there, and all of a
He
sudden
would
the
go
storm
on to his
come up.
folks for the weekend,
We had-
gambling and stuff.
She had no transportation, we were there without any way to go anywhere to get away from the storm, but we had to take our baths Saturday morning so we could be ready to go to town if Daddy came back. So we were all running around in our underwear, so we wouldn't get our clothes dirty, and the storm was coming in, and it was raining, and she took us all to the cellar. She had looked like a mother hen, all the down to the cellar, sliding down the little steps, slide steps.
When we took baths when we lived out on the farm, we had a wash tub and we could only have water for all of us to have the same water.
Because we had no well, no
And Daddy always
water.
had to be first.
And then he was gone.
And you working, you know,
We worked in the picture, he was dirty,
we had to all take a bath and
we
clean.
all took a bath in that.
Anyway, that's not much.
Smaller than
That's
this
just
table.
something
But she made sure that we stayed clean and took care of ourselves.
that
And
our clothes and
clothes were in
everything.
good shape.
Your turn to talk about another one. Yeah.
Mother had no education. She got to go partly to the 7th grade. But her dad was now letting her go to school. She was a girl, she wasn't allowed to go to school. Her brother went to school, but she couldn't go. It just broke her heart because she couldn't learn. She loved school. So that's when she started reading the first grade book and making out the words and things. So she was sounding out and she could read just a little bit. And she learned to write checks by looking at JD's or checkbook and writing them out like she did. Well, the first memory I have of her was when we were small. And you know, we all had chicken pox at the same time, and we didn't have a home.
We love to share.
We would live in a tent, and she would go next door to one of the other tents and bar stuff to put on our sores and things. And that way, I don't know how old we were, probably 6 or 7 years old. I mean, it wasn't even in school.
Remember the story about when she went out to start the car? She was asleep. But we were sick and she was asleep. And she was sleepwalking to go out to the car to go get some medicine for us. Dad stopped her and woke her up or something.
She went to Aunt Dole's.
And
While I were in camp too, she went to Aunt Dole's tent, and she was only in panties and bra. But she walked on in and started getting supper. And they finally woke her up. She was just in her drawers, sliding everything.
I think one of the hardest things for Mom, when she went to a nursing home, everybody always said that Mom loved to help everybody. And even when she went into a nursing home, she wasn't real sick, so she'd like to do things for other people in the nursing home, but they wouldn't let her, don't, you can't do that, you can't do this. I guess for insurance purposes, they can't let the other patients help. And that really made her go downhill, I think, when she couldn't do anything for anybody. I don't know if y'all agree with that. I do.
I think
One thing I'd like to say about Mother is that for each and every one of us, she always helped us to achieve what we wanted to do. Everything we could. Anything we wanted to do, she helped us achieve that. Because when I was growing up in high school and stuff, I raised cattle and chickens and stuff for 4-H and FFA. And she helped me build a barn. She helped me build a fence. She helped me with the cattle. She helped me feed the cattle.
She talked me into driving my 56 Oldsmobile.
And Mom probably never would
To
have
get a
been
cab, and put it in the trunk of my car, drive it from Fort Worth back to Anson for him so he could raise a calf.
And I remember that she was, she'd come home from work, worked all day, and then she'd help me do whatever I needed to do. And she helped everybody, all 5 of us.
She never told us we couldn't do
She
something.
didn't play favorites. She loved everybody.
You always said, if you want to do something, go do
You
it.
can do it.
You can do it.
That's the kind of parent to be, I think.
Yeah.
And she always worked at a sewing factory. She worked at a sewing factory.
She worked on the farm as hard as any man, as I said. But then I guess I was 4, 5 when she started working at T.S. Winfrey and Son Forge store. And at that point, we had 160 acres of dry land farming. And we had no running water, no electricity. And if it hadn't been for her salary at the sewing factory working for a minimum wage, we wouldn't have survived as long as we did.
Because you could not count on Daddy when you got that money, that he would go off.
She would still discipline us though, when she'd go out and get a switch off a tree, and what
No,
work was
no,
much
no,
for
no.
field the bar.
She would tell us to go get the switch. And if we didn't get a good enough switch, that made it worse.
I don't think she spanked us as hard as it, I mean, that didn't hurt as much as watching her peel the bar off and on what was happening.
I don't know why she peeled the bark off, but it didn't hurt anymore.
When we were really
Made it slick.
we didn't have heat of any kind except the big old hot metal
Hot
stove.
metal stove.
And she would put irons, flat irons, like they had back then, not electric irons, but flat irons on that stove and heat them and wrap them in whatever rag she could find to put in their feet so it wouldn't freeze to death.
And our house was a shotgun type house. There, all the rooms were in a row. We had, 3 rooms?
I almost thought that was bricks that she wanted to put on her feet.
No,
You know, it was
we didn't have any bricks.
well, that's what she used to iron with too. I
Yeah.
mean, she always made sure it was for me, and she ironed with those irons.
And this was the first house y'all remember? Like this is the first one.
The earliest house I remember was that on the farm in Nancy.
Well, I
in
don't
the shade.
remember earlier than
Not
that.
Chancellor's.
Charter was
Not
on that
Chancellor's.
chicken house.
The house in Sugar.
Chimney.
And we didn't live on the farm then, this is when Dad was in service.
Yeah.
We lived in.
As soon as he got out of service, we moved to the Castleberry place.
That was, we cleaned it.
Yeah, we rented it for a while. Then we didn't get his PA bill. He bought 160 acres. He paid down on 160 acres. He
The
bought.
chicken house.
Was it a chicken house?
It was a converted chicken house. Come on, be nice. In World War
He
II,
was fond of chickens.
it was a chicken house that had been converted to living quarters. Yes, I was born there. And that's why they fed me the sandwich.
He liked
And that was in Anson also? Or
That was in Breckenridge.
Breckenridge, yeah.
Y'all getting more of the more serving than you want.
It's great. So that's the earliest house you remember, Aunt Rosie?
I remember one in Rochester, but I don't remember much about it. I just remember a picture of Sandy sitting out with her own out on the stoop. Or out on the porch, but there was a big old barrel on there filled with dirt. And I remember her picture there. I don't know if I remember the
Well, when Mother was picking cotton, Rosie had to watch me, and I was crying, so she picked me up and set me on a piece of tin, because
Yeah.
I was so hot and tired of my feet, so she set me on a piece of tin.
No wonder you cried.
And old gas, advertising, those big old gas signs that they had. And it was out there, and she was crying, she was so hot, and her feet was burning. Mother said, "Get that
Then I
in."
had more than feet burn, probably.
Get her out of that sand, it's hot. So I picked her up and put her up on that bed, and I said, you know, sand. And oh God, it was hot, it was 113 degrees out there, and shut it off.
There was no shade.
But
It wasn't for
But I mean, in that house.
but the farm in Anson is what y'all spent, where y'all spent most of your childhood? Or?
Yeah. We lived there for how long? How long did we live in Chimney?
And
Till I was another Castleberry.
Anson?
Yeah, Anson.
Red, when you
I
said,
was 14.
When I started first grade, we moved
that's what
down.
I thought, when Red started first grade.
So it's probably
I think
6 years.
51. We lived in a house that had no electricity.
could show
Does
off.
that make sense? No.
We did have electricity, we had one bulb hanging in the living room.
No, we did not have
No, we
electricity in the country.
I didn't have electricity for long, and
He
They didn't
didn't
have
have
electricity
electricity.
till we moved to
It's
Florida.
on.
And what kind of chores did y'all have to do growing up?
What chores did you
We
do?
didn't have chores, we worked.
You had to take care of everybody, didn't you, boss everybody?
we washed, we did iron, we
We
washed.
chopped cotton, we picked cotton,
We did,
We had it
we
made.
cleaned house, we.
got the bell peen that
Mother worked. She worked at the sewing factory, and then she worked in the fields in the daytime. And she was never at home, she had to work all the time. So we had to do all the chores, whatever had to be done.
They did all the cooking and washing and everything. When Mom started working.
Except breakfast. Mother would get
Mother
up
cooked
at
breakfast.
3 o'clock in the morning and make homemade biscuits and chocolate gravy.
Street gravy.
We had to,
If you didn't have sugar and flour, you drink gravy.
we put our clothes on barbed wire fence to dry after we washed them. We didn't have, clotheslines per se at the beginning. When I might have gotten later, but anyway, that was, and when they were dry, when we took them in, we had to be so careful not to rip our clothes when we were taking them off the barbed wire fence.
I don't remember ever doing chores.
You never did? You didn't have any chores.
Chicken and hog and cattle and all.
He didn't feed any chickens or hogs or cattle.
Who
I
did?
don't remember.
He got to ride on the tractor with Daddy.
He got to ride on the tractor there. So he was
Well,
ready.
and he had red hair, and everybody thought that red hair was something.
Daddy and Grandpa looked.
They liked to ride the tractors. They didn't have to do any work.
I was too little.
Especially him, he didn't have to do anything.
I was too little to do chores.
You were too small.
What about going to school? What do you remember about starting school when you were a kid? What it was like, and
About what?
about school when you started school? Yeah. Yeah.
Started school.
Probably the hardest thing was being so poor. Everybody, it seemed like everybody else had
Nicer clothes.
decent clothes and decent this and decent houses that they lived in, and that we were just as far as
Really, we weren't much more poor than anybody else. There was a lot of other people that had the same situation we were in.
we probably got free food, didn't we? Free lunches, that what it is?
No, we didn't.
We did. We walked to school just like the rest of them. We walked to school.
I said free lunches.
We didn't have.
That was when I worked in the lunchroom and I got free lunches. That's how I got
Was
my
that in the country school? In the country school? Because
I didn't go to the country school.
I remember riding the bus.
But there we walked, but in town, I remember working in the lunchroom.
From
Country school.
we could,
By the time I started school, Mom had enough money to pay for our lunches, or she made our lunches before she would go to work. We had a sandwich or something.
When we'd go to school and it was raining, we'd have to walk. My dad would carry Pearl. He didn't know how to get her pin muddy. She was full. Now, what do you remember about school? I think you had a lot of friends and everything in school.
After I walked to school,
Not when you went to school in town.
I didn't go to school in town until
You didn't run the
she was
bus.
married. You rode to school.
You rode the school bus from the farm into Anson to school.
In high school.
yes.
And I went to country school early years, and we walked.
They closed that school down after.
Two-room school.
2 rooms now.
But y'all went to a different school.
Well, that tore that school down before I started. That was-
Yeah.
You went there.
I never, we were on the bus.
On the bus, yeah.
What did did y'all think of school?
School was a good way to get out of work. Man, this is great. I can stay here all day long and I don't have to go to the cotton field.
I didn't start school until after we moved to town, so I had it easy. We had to walk about, I don't know, 10 blocks or so to the elementary school.
All the way across town.
Or ride a bicycle, walk most of the time. I always had, you know, Mom would always give me money for lunches. Right? Just school. You know, lived in town, went to school. Wasn't no fun.
We got 10 cents for lunch.
I got a quarter.
We got 10 cents.
I hated my first grade teacher because she stuck me on the hand because I wouldn't be quiet, and I never did like her after that.
Back then, they could do that. I don't know. Did I ever drive y'all to school after I got a car?
No.
I know, after I got a car, me and girlfriends would play hooky and go to Stanford or something for the day, but I didn't know if I ever.
We never played hooky either.
We rode bicycles.
I did. Lots of
And we
times.
got 7, we each had bicycles.
I remember, one of the things I remember about school is I failed the third grade. And,
Some of the best 3 years of his life was in the third
I failed the third grade and I had to go to summer school to make up for it. To stay with my class when school started again. So Charlie had to tutor me. And he had to teach me my multiplication tables. In the third grade, I didn't know my multiplication tables. And we would go over and over and over and over. He would make me learn. I couldn't go swimming. We had passes to the swimming pool. They could go to the swimming pool, but I couldn't go. I couldn't do anything.
That was Mama's idea.
School. That was my punishment for failing. But
He was lazy. It wasn't because he wasn't smart enough.
Ornery.
and I know my multiplications pretty well today.
And then I got to high school and I had to tutor Pearl. In math. Yeah, I called algebra.
One thing that really surprised me about school now is that most kids don't know cursive.
We cursed a lot.
You had to do, I thought you had to learn cursive.
Cursive, I
Not
don't
anymore.
know. And they also don't do math.
7th and 8th grade that Laura teaches, you know, they don't know cursive, they print, but they don't know how to write or read.
They don't do math the right way either. They don't
I
know
learned
math.
cursing when I was 3 years old.
Yeah, I think I did too. But, you know, they just always made us, anyway, that's strange.
That leads me to one of my next questions, which was, what did y'all do for fun? Like, I know you said go to the swimming pool, ride your bikes. What kind of stuff did y'all like?
We had to play a lot of games there too. We had to play. We had some good games. It was called kick the can. When we would find the tin can, we'd draw a circle out in the yard, and whoever was in had to sit on that can until somebody could come up and kick the can out, and then they were free.
Is that how kick the can works?
Whatever we could find. We would we played Tarzan, Chinaberry tree.
Oh, yeah.
Pull the Chinaberry tree down and put a red on it and let it go. See how far he could fly.
That was fun.
We thought it was fun too. He's the only one small enough to do it. We couldn't. We didn't have anybody play with him. The closest neighbor was at least a mile away.
We used to take matchsticks and stick them in the ground and use old pieces of glass that we found and make believe they were cars, and we'd drive down by those.
We make a road down through there. And on each side we put match down too.
And we cut paper dolls out of catalogs. We
Even I did that. If I wanted to play with anybody, I had to play with the girls. Or else walk them out.
It was good with me.
And
Well, it's too little to play anyhow.
we make furniture for our paper dolls out of cardboard boxes, you know, we cut it and but that was one, I don't know, we played something about river over it.
Yeah.
And we throw something over the house.
Yeah, any over.
Red Rover.
You have to run through it.
I remember Charlie and I used to pole vault out of
We only did that once.
the hay loft of the barn.
And I went off the hay loft. It was
I like
top of the shed of the barn. We had to go across the cow lot, across the barbed wire fence on a 1x4 that was 10 feet long.
No, it was around.
I thought it was
That
fun.
was a round over.
And Charlie was so big, he broke the stick.
I put cold balls up there, so I got about right to the top of it. One before it broke, and I fell right down into a cow lot after the rain started.
We never got toys at Christmas time. We would get a sock with an apple and an orange and a walnut in
And
it.
that's for all of us to share.
Probably. Anyway, there were no toys.
We had no Christmas
We got
trees.
one now.
No Christmas presents, no Christmas
No
trees,
Christmas presents,
Before
no
these
Christmas
guys
trees.
no stocking, none of
No
that.
birthday stuff either.
No birthday stuff either.
No birthday presents.
No money.
No money.
Chores were chores. You didn't get paid for it.
After we moved to town, we started having Christmas.
Yeah, we did.
Daddy had a good job, and Mom had a pretty good job, and we
Because when we
started.
moved to town, we moved to town because the bank didn't want us to live on the farm anymore. And Daddy started working for the highway department, so he had a salary, and Mom had a salary, and we thought we were rich.
Yeah, we got passes to the swimming pool.
I
Yeah.
don't remember.
We had Christmas one year. Charlie and I got BB guns.
And had water with it.
I got a bicycle one year.
Wow.
And then with mom and dad both having good jobs and good insurance and everything, if you had to go to the hospital, all the insurance is paid, so they didn't take several $100 home with them. So I always had real rotten teeth. When I was 18, they put me in the hospital and pulled all my teeth, and got paid for it. But mom and dad both got lots of money back from the insurance. Didn't cost them anything. But
She didn't go back to school.
And we started being able to have haircuts at the barber shop.
And so she didn't get to graduate.
yeah, because I had to miss a lot of school that year. I wanted to have the credit, but I got my GI.
But you were embarrassed. You go to and then that's sad.
And really, even when I went back to school, the kids would tease me, take them out, let me see, and all that. That wasn't fun.
My grandkids do that now.
These are like the stars.
They come out of
Come
that.
out of that.
Did y'all ever go on like family vacations or anything like
Did we
that?
talk about getting
Yeah.
the 1951 Ford, when Daddy bought that Ford? We decided we had to go to California to visit Mama's family who left Oklahoma during the Dust Bowl.
When that's their work.
And we went several times.
But the first time we went,
We picked cotton to pay our way out there.
we stopped some halfway between Arizona.
Then we picked oranges to make enough money to make it back home.
That's
And we
kind of
would
like
camp out, and Daddy got tired of driving and stopped, put a blanket on the ground, or something, a sheet, and that's where we would sleep,
Cook up and ground.
cook out there on the campground.
They built a campfire and make bacon and eggs in the morning.
We weren't the only ones, other people did
A
that.
lot of people did that.
And we went on Route 66 and Nanny
I remember
They
one
were
time
berries.
when we went out there, Mom's sister, Maudie and Handy, they didn't have any kids or anything. They wanted to take us to
the Rose Bowl.
the Rose Bowl parade. And Daddy, no way, is his kid's going to go to something like that. So we never got to do it. But, they were going to really splurge and take us and keep them little.
But talking about the trip, it was Route 66, and we had one of those things with water in it that you hang on the front of your car because we had a lot of trouble with the radiator, right? When you're going
So
over
you
the
hung it on
desert.
the front of the car because that kept it cool.
No, that was so you could pour some water in it.
It's a
and
brand new
you would
car.
have to bring the water over too. Yeah. Anyway, and we remember the
Yeah,
ghost
so-
towns along the way, how scary it was when you go through those ghost towns.
wide and put 12 by 12.
You know, keep it cool.
The temperatures were hotter back then, weren't they?
That's the only trip
Start
we
with
ever
air
had.
conditioning during the
Right, that's the only trip we ever took.
No, we had more than
We
one
took
trip.
several trips to California.
Yeah,
Uh-uh.
yeah, we did
We
too.
did, didn't we?
We went back to California
So what about that?
after Rosie and Sandy were away from home.
Yeah,
It
and,
was just us three kids.
yeah, and we went to Pikes Peak, but
We
Daddy
went
wouldn't
to Garden of
go.
Gods and Pikes Peak, and we went to several places.
He wouldn't go down in the thing, but Daddy was scared to go down in the, what was it?
Okay.
Caves, yeah.
I
Catacombs and
and
caverns.
also,
He wouldn't go there.
I think I was already living somewhere else, but
Yeah.
and also,
You
because
did?
I remember, posing for some pictures of us in
Yeah.
Ross.
Oh, that's right.
Well,
Yeah, so that was all. But yeah, so I went with.
Rosie had 3 kids by then, so she couldn't go. She never got a vacation.
We didn't, it wasn't much of a vacation when we went out there for,
Yeah, we did. We stopped halfway in Arizona and picked cotton there.
and then we
We
went there.
went to California,
Stayed
worked there, and came back and stopped in Arizona again and picked cotton.
That was our vacation.
Y'all remember picking potatoes?
Picking up potatoes.
That was a hard job.
I don't remember the potatoes.
I think.
I just remember that cotton in Arizona.
I
Way
did
up high. We weren't used to that.
Big
Tall cotton,
We had to pick the cotton out of the
Pickle,
field.
you didn't pull a bow.
And these things were picking too, we got to get them out, that,
Yeah, it's a pick cotton but out of the bow.
but it didn't weigh as much when we go up to weigh it, and then time to go.
You have to do a lot of picking, not
A
pulling.
lot of picking, get a pound of cotton.
And we stayed with
Just
Lee
picking and
Homer and
reading.
Hook Homer.
Oh, man, that was
They
good.
had some of the meanest
Blue
kids.
tails.
Meanest kids.
Boy, Red got in a fight, I had to check it.
I remember that year we went out there, we had a 57 Ford, and my place to sleep was on the back deck, behind the seat between
No,
the
no, no, that's not, that yours was in the floorboard.
And anyway, we were going through New Mexico, and New Mexico has water runoff. The highway would dip so that the water would not accumulate, so the water would run across. And we'd be going on and hit a dip, and the springs would drag it, and ground off the bolts and stuff, the springs. And we had to stop and have that new car fixed halfway out there.
Route 66.
What about, what did y'all do for like food and clothing when you were kids? Like, did y'all grow all your food on the farm, or did you go to the grocery store and get something, or make your own clothes, or what?
One flour sack.
You go get flour sacks at the,
Another, she bought
Flour sack. Then they
25-pound sacks of
printed
flour.
and stuff. They put
She
it
would make
all
shirts for us out of those flour sacks, they were really precious.
We took eggs. Mother had a mother churner on butter, or I don't know if we did too, and she had a thing that would make it into squares, and she'd take the eggs and the butter into town and trade it for flour or sugar. Everybody got butter, you remember doing that?
When Dad was in the service, we got stamps for flour.
We did back in
Ration stamps.
When I remember on the farm, we had pigs and we had chickens, we had a milk cow, we had milk.
It was raised hogs, we would raise hogs in the.
Did we grow vegetables?
I remember churning butter, and then we got that butter churning crank. We always had buttered eggs.
One thing, though, our main staple, our main food was
Beans.
cornbread and beans.
Red beans and
I don't
cornbread.
remember ever having, if we had company come in, Mother'd go out and bring a chicken's neck and cook that. But as far as really having meat fowl, we're not doing, maybe sausage or something.
We just had cornbread and milk or something for a meal. That just crumbled.
Sometimes that's all we had, cornbread and milk.
Sometimes we would kill a calf or something. I remember putting in the locker plant, we would go into the locker plant sometimes.
Did we ever get to eat it, or
Yeah, we-
maybe I just wouldn't eat it
sometimes,
because I couldn't eat the
We just told you that because we wanted more for us.
I was a teenager, a preteen, I guess, and I spent the night with my girlfriend, and they were so excited to have me come over and spend the night. They were going to have beach steak. He had ready to have beach steak. And they kept asking me, you like beach steak, don't you? I didn't know if I did or not. I never had it. I thought Dad was going to kill me. Because I never tasted beef steak. I didn't know what steak was.
And the clothing y'all had was like flour sacks that Grandma would make shirts out of? Or?
No, our panties and things were made out of our sacks.
Everything
Even
like
our
that, except for
dresses
jeans.
and our, Mother made our underwear.
She made a lot of dresses for them. We got jeans.
We had flour sacks.
I remember making stuff out of just fabric too, after she got that sewing machine.
Yeah.
She'd buy fabric and make shirts and stuff.
What did y'all wear for underwear? Did you wear any? She made bloomers for us with.
I don't remember anything but store-bought underwear.
You had underwear?
You was a baby. We had flour sacks.
We didn't have store-bought. I don't know, it's like the coat of many colors that my mother made for me, you know, you're always so proud of whatever
Yeah.
hand-me-downs.
Yeah, the hand-me-downs, did we? Yeah.
I didn't have any of
Yeah.
We had to hand them down to each other.
Yeah, the other people, I don't even
What were some of the first jobs y'all had outside of the farm, obviously, but like jobs you took when you got a little bit older, working, making money?
You know, working with somebody else's farm, does that count?
I guess if you get
When
paid
we
for it.
moved to town, we did a lot of that. We were working with other people's farms. We chopped cotton and pulled cotton for other people. First other job I had was in the grocery store, sacking groceries.
I don't remember having any jobs other than farm
That's
jobs.
because he never worked.
We had a lot of farm work to do and was hired out to help farm for other people. But I had a paper route one time, but I never. Well, I worked for grocery stores, delivered circulars and things like that, but I never worked in a grocery store stocking or stacking or anything like that. Worked at the gym, cotton gym,
That's actually we moved to Bunsen or
Corbin. But as far as hiring out for anything besides the farm, not me.
I was a car hop, and I had so much fun doing it.
Were you on roller skates?
I didn't do it on roller skates. Back then we didn't do that. But Dad also had a snow cone stand at one time, and I ran that farm some. I don't know if y'all ever did, but I did. That was in town, and I got to make snow cones and sell them on the.
I didn't have to do that.
You didn't do that?
I did.
Yeah.
So your dad owned a snow cone stand? Like he,
Yes.
He owned the snow cone stand. I don't know if he leased it to whoever owned the ice house, but the ice house was right there next to the snow cone stand, and I think he leased the snow cone stand and let us run it, so he's trying to make money off of
that
it.
ice house. Don't forget the ice house part of it.
Did he lease the ice house
Yeah.
too?
oh,
Anyway, I was there a lot, but I didn't work.
Did you work anywhere else, Rosie, when you were home?
You know, because you
went straight from getting married and then you went to working and having babies.
Did you explain how we got out to Corey? After we lived in Anson for a while in town, Daddy worked for the highway department, as he said, and he saved up enough money. He decided he wanted to fulfill his dream and to buy a grocery store.
Oh, yeah.
So he bought a grocery store and gas station out of this little bitty farming community, halfway between Anson and Stanford, right by a cotton gin.
in
No
Corinth?
bathroom, no
No
electricity.
bathroom.
And
Yeah,
other
we had
people
electricity.
back that long.
We go back down.
He had to sell the house in town in order to buy that store.
without anybody's permission, like, look.
Yeah.
Mother had surgery, and he did it while she was in there. He signed it and got that.
What was her surgery for?
She had hysterectomy.
Hysterectomy.
Mother was in the hospital when he moved.
And that just hurt her. She loved it.
So we did love that house. We were together.
She had rose beds here for the first time.
We were doing really well, and we were financially stable.
Yeah.
And he bought that store, and it was a piece of junk. We couldn't sell hardly anything.
So we opened bread.
Milk and bread and sandwiches.
Sandwich meat.
And it was a miserable place to live.
Yeah, that's where Uncle Ed and I got married, at that house.
In that house.
In that house.
But now the wind blew, it'd go right to the side of the wall, and nothing but sand and everything coming in.
Rats.
Rats.
Flying.
Rats would run across the bed, were throwing us sweat, baby.
But talking about, I don't remember really working either. Maybe I babysat or something.
She did.
I don't remember working. No, college or between college. I did go after I finished high school. I worked at the sewing factory.
In summer.
Yeah, in the summer I worked there
Yeah.
In Texas or in Michigan.
in Texas.
Oh, did
You
you?
worked at Lincoln's, did you?
T.F. Lincoln, so she did.
In months for I
One
years.
summer, though.
I think so. And I went to college. And,
So-
I worked at Langford's too, where Mother worked.
I worked there too, for 2 summers, in high school.
You worked
I
there?
know.
On the butterfly.
you did?
No, I worked at the gas station.
I did.
Was that
I worked
pretty?
at Langford's until, I guess, Ed and I married, and then I got a job at Timex that paid probably 25 cents an hour more than Langford's did, I don't know. So I probably got me up to 75 cents an hour instead of 50.
But she got her name Sandy from working in the cafe and at the bar hop and stuff. And her last name is Sanders, and they call her Sandy. And that's when we started calling you Sandy, because we were working in the.
They called her Sandy in high school
In high
too.
school, my friends and I,
Okay.
Rebecca Cook, we called her Cookie.
Uh-huh.
And I can't remember some of the other girls, but I got that from Sanders, and it's, I like it better than Ruby.
Yeah, me too. And you were working at those car hops and stuff then too when you were in high
Yeah, I
school.
think I was probably maybe 14 when I got the car lot job. Because that was when we
And
first
what-
moved to town.
When I got to high school, one of the teachers asked me, he said, "Are you kin to Sandy?" And I said, "Yes, my sister." He said, "Oh, no."
That was not the correct statement.
She was such a hard student that they were dreading what I would
Just
do.
because I played with the olive.
Never mind.
No, I didn't either. He's making that up.
So what year was that Papa bought that grocery store and moved the family out of it? And
Earl,
so,
you were a junior in high school.
Probably what year were you?
I turned 13, so it must have been about 60.
Must have been when we moved to the grocery store.
Yeah.
In 58, because that year I was married.
Oh, yeah.
And then Ed had Dad move, and probably Gene and Ed had Dad move.
and was that, how long were y'all there before you moved somewhere else?
When it burned down.
No, we moved.
No one moved before it burned
We
down.
moved to this little place in town, and then one night we got a call, somebody came, and they said our was burning.
Our store was
And
burned
they, I
down.
think they tried to blame it on him. And I
Yeah,
don't know, he
blame it
might have
on
done
us
it.
too, because we never had to go to.
He could have done it, we just don't know. But anyway,
They were questioning about
I know they were questioned about it, but anyway.
They
that-
called us all the grand jury, or all of us over there. What's going
I
on?
was already living in the here, and
We had to go
I
testify, it was kids, if you want to testify, that's what they want to
Did y'all
do.
have to testify?
Yes.
And you were what, 16?
Did he get any insurance?
14?
Did he get any insurance out of
It
it?
wasn't sure if you got money on that.
A little bit,
They had.
But I don't think he burned it down. I think it burned down of its own accord
because the electricity was so bad.
because he had a truck in that shed, in the oil shed, where he kept all of his keepsakes, like his old coins,
Yes.
and it all was destroyed. So I don't think he would destroy
I
that.
got the feeling that everybody thought Mother Girl that y'all didn't live there, did she? So,
No.
I know she probably hated it enough to burn it.
But I don't think she would.
But by then y'all had moved back to Anson, or
We
you?
already moved back to Anson. We moved from there, but we lived in one place in Anson, and so we moved out to Corinth, then we moved back to Anson.
To a different place.
Because the mother finally got tired of putting up with it.
Yeah.
Out there. So I can't drive 20 miles further to go to work.
Living there.
Oh, right, because she was still working back
She was
in.
still working at Evelyn.
She worked all her life,
Yeah.
sometimes 2 or 3 jobs, got more billing, everything else she did. Never did anything.
We had a 61 Falcon. She drove back and forth to work.
One of the interesting things about living at Corinth at the store was that either Charlie, me, or Pearl had to work in the store while Dad and the other two went out and chopped cotton.
Our pool car.
Our pool cotton, worked in the fields to earn money to stock the store.
Oh,
Otherwise, we couldn't buy anything to put in the store to sell.
And when I was there, and I know when Charlie was working too, we would steal these little nickel cigars and go out back smoking those cigars.
And that's what it burned down. Yeah.
So that second house in Anson, how long were y'all there before you went somewhere else?
Until I went away to college.
We lived there until I graduated high school.
And I was
And
in
then-
college, and when I was in college, and Charlie was in college in Abilene, that's when our folks split up.
When Red
When I graduated from high school, Mother left.
The day after you graduated, she.
Or the
I
way
think
that,
before you graduated.
right
No. I graduated from high school. I went to Rosie's house in Euless to live. I worked there for the summer. And a few weeks after I left, Mom packed up her stuff and left.
I think we all really feel that Mom just stayed with Dad that many years until she got all her kids.
She said she would. She said she wouldn't leave until we all had our education.
and Red was there during the worst
Pretty.
problem that we don't know how.
It was bad.
And
It
we
was just
know that, we were doing our college thing,
They were
and we
gone.
were married.
And that's why I was gone so much. So I spent all my time over at John Branch's house because it was miserable to be there.
I wasn't living there then, I think I was already in Michigan.
Yeah.
The mother lived like maybe 30 miles or more from work, but she still had to drive to Abilene.
Or
every
catch a
day to
ride.
work. Probably more than 30 miles. And Dad worked at a gas station, or maybe he managed it, and he told the people that worked for him, he'd fire them if they gave her any gas. And he was that cruel.
And she didn't have any
She
money.
had long time, she didn't have any money.
But she planned it, and she found this place, over in another little town, Stanford, or Hannah.
But I think
And
she
she got
Stanford,
over there and
Stanford.
hid out in there. And
She moved to Stanford
And
first.
he did not know where she was.
He couldn't find her.
he didn't, she was right.
But I was
He
so
was
happy when
around
she
and
left.
around.
I was not surprised. I was so happy when she left.
I was pregnant.
But she
with
never
my
talked
first
about
child.
it. She never said that, anything about that.
Yeah,
And I remember.
my God.
She didn't,
By then, I had been married 7 years, and I was pregnant with my first child. And Dad sent me a long letter about all the cooking and the mom did. And Ed was gone. He was going to school and working and everything. And I bet I bought for $5. I thought, I'm going to lose my baby because of what he did. But I didn't. I didn't have any problems. But I just couldn't believe he was that cruel.
He did it all that way. We didn't know what was going on.
You know, it was,
I didn't know.
it was another.
Even though I was in college, I didn't go home in the summertime. I stayed in Abilene and worked there.
that's when I had been up to Michigan that summer, right, Larry? And I got home after that summer, I was up there, and I told Rosie later, and said, my folks are getting divorced, remember how Rosie?
Daddy would mess around with anything that was
No, I
sold.
would've
And nobody didn't. No
Mark,
matter what it was.
we would just go spend the weekend at Breckenridge.
Bragging on the
Yeah,
shop.
it was. not a good example.
But he's not in there, if you can call it that.
Yeah, nobody did.
He stayed with us. He did care about us, you know.
He did take care of us. He wasn't.
Well, he taught us how to work hard.
He worked out, he gave us up, he kept food on the table, wanted in. But he was not a father.
Tell me more about Grandma. Like she found someone to live with, or she lived by herself. She went to
She lived
Stanford.
by herself. She moved to Abilene and rented a place to live there where Daddy couldn't find her. Stanford. Moved to Stanford, I'm sorry. But she drove back and forth to Abilene. And then after a few months, she did move to Abilene.
Did he eventually? I mean, he eventually found her, though, right? Or what happened? Like, how did that resolve itself? Right.
And he wanted me to go and talk to the lawyer and find out what she said about it. And I did.
He would learn anything out of the house with him.
I wanted my parents together, because I hadn't been a part of all that stuff that you were around, you know. And I think he was afraid she would have something on him. He was telling me he was really get in trouble. I don't know. That's all.
When I went to Euless to live with Rosie that summer, I had 6 or 7 calves that were 300 or 400 pounds and a dairy cow, and he sold them. Sold them, he kept the money. And I was working at a gas station trying to save up enough money to go to college, and he took my cattle and sold them because I wasn't there.
You didn't get to go to college very much, did you? You were just one
Well, I
year.
flunked out after the first semester.
He wouldn't study.
I wouldn't say.
He always came down and played poker with us.
And how did I wondered this a few days ago? We were driving through Hillsboro, and I was telling Shelley about how so many of y'all. What brought y'all all to Hillsboro together? Was it to work together, or like you were in Hillsboro, and the Zarnickies were in Hillsboro, and the Lindsays were in Hillsboro?
We bought a machine shop. We bought a machine shop.
Okay.
That's why we did that.
We didn't have any connection
Oh,
there.
we were.
No, but until they
We bought
found
a
out
machine
about the
shop.
machine shop.
Okay.
And after a year or so, they were having such good business, and Michigan's economy was so bad that they invited Ed to come into the business with them. So he came and stayed probably 3 months, and the kids and I stayed in Michigan. And I shoveled snow off the roof and stuff like that. But that's a different story. But okay, anyway, then we all moved there. They all left and we.
Oh, we didn't move to Hillsboro.
No, I never lived there.
Is that Dad? Is that why you ended up teaching at HEB, because Rosie had lived in Euless and you knew about Euless?
He worked there in the summertime. I worked there in the summertime. I lived with her.
Carl went to college there, and all that. I went to Southwestern in Waxahachie my first 2 years of school. I'm the first one.
So I did our raising.
Any of our cousins or family that I know of got to go to college. And that was it. Some got to college.
But she only went to a junior college.
Junior college there, and then I came to Vancouver where he was.
Oh, you went to McMurray too. Okay.
Yeah,
Methodist Institute of Higher Academic
Yes, it is. I'm well familiar with McMurray University.
And I was president of the Honor Society and stuff like that. I did well. And he was fine, and he was
I would learn.
able to learn that far.
I never had a social life, Nancy. I didn't know what social life was until I got to college.
You made up for it at
After
McMurray.
my first semester of college, I learned.
You got in that
I
club.
was a freshman there, I didn't date.
I was going to graduate, and here he is over in the dorm doing something. I had to go get him. Come on here, come over here for my graduation. He didn't care about doing it. He and mother were there.
Yeah. Well, I was in high school 3 years all by myself. They had already gone. And
I was in the 9th grade.
Those 3 years.
You were in high school, you had class.
I got to drive Mother's car to school. She had this 61 Falcon station wagon, and she was driving some of the other ladies to Adelaide, and I got to drive her car to school.
Never got to drive a car to school.
And she traded that in and got a 65 Falcon the year I was a senior, and I got to drive that to school. Here we're talking about, you know, mother working and buying a car, and she owed somebody else let me drive her car to school.
And you know, when I graduated from high school, I didn't have any big fancy stuff. These people had so much. The only kids I got were two people that worked with her who followed these reviews. I just looked at them, you know, and people are so spoiled now. How many they are? They don't have to go to Kingdom Come for any little thing, you know? They are. On our wedding, she bought bananas for your wedding.
That was a reception.
Yeah.
It was a big old thing with bananas.
She bought you all, and you had all bunch of kids. Which is what I'm getting at. She bought money, she had.
There was a shower or something they had for you at Anne Marie's. It was at Anne Marie's house.
No,
They had it hanging out in the tree.
and
I know where you got married again, when you
out in the garden, out in the yard. And that's all, she couldn't afford it, no one else, you know. So, and my jeans box were very well too, enough money to live on, and that's all she could afford is
And if
a
they
bunch of
had any
bananas.
kindness,
They didn't have
it was
But Daddy had her, that's for sure, not ever worn a tux, and when I got him to rent to wear for the wedding, he sure did not want to wear a tux and give me away there. But he did it. He closed the store, or got somebody to take her long enough to go up there.
He was probably always harder on Rosie than anybody. I think he got
Oh, no
closer and
doubt,
had a
yeah.
nervous breakdown and everything before she got married.
Yeah.
She was very, she was, Dad wasn't hard on me.
I think it was,
It was harder on me to see mother suffer.
you know, it just seemed like he was harder on you than he was on anybody, you know.
And you're the one that got away.
all three of y'all,
Yeah.
he never thought y'all needed to worry about going to school. Even when I got to the 10th grade, he said he thought it was time for me to quit, get a job.
I would none of us were finished school.
Hadn't been promoted.
But yet he was proud of it. He was all we did accomplish.
Yeah.
I don't think he was proud when we did accomplish.
He just wouldn't admit it. But that would mean he was
I
wrong.
was sure happy when Mama married Grandpa J.D.
Yeah.
I was too. That was the first time in her life, I think, that she was
She
ever
was happy.
treated like a lady. You know, she really, even though to everybody else, maybe J.D. seemed like an old goat roper or whatever, but he really
Well,
treated
he was a little
her
goat.
nice.
That's what he called it. You old goat.
But he was good to Mom, and she needed that in her later years. She was good to him too, you know,
Yeah,
she
yeah.
took care of him a lot.
But he got that.
What year was that Grandma married JD?
66.
66.
Charlie and I was in college at the same time, he's 65.
I'm going to tell you, she married in October. What year I married in December? What year, J.D.?
65.
The
She
picture
was
on
working at the sewing factory trying to help us have enough money to
I
have.
think the year my first child was born, I think it was 65.
Yeah. Very soft.
I heard you say it, and I think I agree with you.
Oh, yeah. She
Yeah.
would help us. She didn't have any money to give us to help us to pay for stuff we needed at school, but she would cook for us and she would do our laundry. And we went to their wedding.
Yeah.
Is that the end of that story?
At the end of that story, all he can say.
Y'all didn't go to their wedding, did you?
I was ready.
Mom and
Oh,
Daddy.
no, you were around. I
You
was
were in
still.
Michigan.
I didn't, I was in Michigan.
I was teaching.
She was probably.
She was pregnant with, I couldn't.
Before you were married?
No, you weren't pregnant. Yeah, you were. You were pregnant when 65. That's why you couldn't
When
come.
you got married, that's why I didn't come to your wedding.
Yeah, that's right.
What do you remember about that ceremony, Uncle Red? You were getting a little choked up,
Very
remember?
simple. Very simple. It was
It was at Mom's house.
Yeah, it wasn't in the church.
And all the JD's family came over there.
And none of the mom came, none.
Just me and Charlie. Me and Charlie and Mom.
That's a very simple ceremony.
And did Papa get married after Grandma did, or before with Irene? When did that?
Probably a year or so later, would you think?
Did she do what?
When did you get married?
married?
I don't know, which time.
I don't remember.
No, she don't marry Irene once.
I didn't go to that. I wasn't invited.
I don't think so.
I mean, obviously, you guys, your lives, you've been through quite a lot. What do you feel like you learned the most? What do you think about your upbringing made you what you are today? Like, what do you take from your lives growing up to now that really shaped you and molded you into the people you are right now?
This is it. This is it. It's family. It's us together. Our love for each other.
What do we feel like we've accomplished in our life?
How has your upbringing shaped who you are?
We're not afraid of work. We're not afraid to laugh. We're not afraid to cry. We're not afraid to show our emotions.
And we're not afraid to love each other.
And we love each other.
Work hard, achieve, and take care of each other.
And I think we're all glad we have God in our life. You know, it might not always be exactly the same for each of us, but we all know that He's looking out for us. And like Charlie and Rick probably both said, we're very thankful for family.
We probably wouldn't have been as close to God and through church if it hadn't been for Mom. She would take us to church. Daddy sometimes would be superintendent of Sunday school, and sometimes he would not go to church at all. Mother was always there, and she took us there.
And it was an embarrassing church to go to because it was holy rollers and people would laugh at us because we went to that church.
Yeah.
They'd come by and laugh when they passed our church and everybody was speaking in tongues and everything. I don't know if y'all know that, but
I do know that.
I think we learned how to be tough.
Yeah.
That we do.
But we also learned to stand up for each other. We learned that we've got each other's back. We can
do anything.
Pearl probably never knew it, but I got into a fight one time, and I think you did too. David Herring was there. Somebody in your grade was making wisecracks about you. We were out there railroad, we were behind the golf course, and they started talking about her, and we got into a fight there.
Who was it who was fighting with?
I can't remember who it was now.
I don't know what it
They had your back. I didn't know it.
I never told you before.
I know.
We got into a fight because somebody was talking about Pearl.
I can't remember who it was.
Something about her being bossy or something.
You got into a fight with somebody else,
Yeah.
not with each other.
No,
Yeah.
really.
No.
Protecting your honor.
Anyway, thank you. Yeah. Just learning to accept each other. We're all there for each other. Whatever the problem is, we try to make it better.
We try not to be too judgmental, no matter how wrong they are.
Well, on behalf of all your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren, we can't thank y'all enough for the people you are and the people you've made us. We will forever be grateful for what y'all went through to get this family to what it is today.
That's why we so much enjoy this getting together, because it lets us be with our siblings, but also our nieces and nephews and our step nieces and not step, but our second and third generations. You know, we get to see these little ones coming up. It's so exciting.
And it gives us hope for tomorrow.
we see the bad stuff that goes on, but we see a lot of good in these young people.
We hope we didn't make it too easy on you.
And there aren't any of
We
us
want
that
you to
haven't
learn
had
like
some,
we learned. Some of the things, you can learn a lot through adversity. That no matter how dark it may be, there's always good on the other side.
there aren't any of us that haven't had some really hardships or some really difficult things within our families, but we just roll with the punches, I guess, you know, and just take care of whatever has to be taken care of and keep going.
I wouldn't trade anything for what we've been through to be where I am
I
today.
agree.
And
I
I
agree.
think we're much better people from what we've been through.
Yeah. And our kids have turned out so good, somewhat. Really, percentage-wise, I think our kids.
I think all of our
great
kids have
compared
really
to
turned out great.
a lot of families have.
Yeah,
Many of them are in some kind of ministry for the Lord. It's beautiful to see.
You know, any of our kids might not always be exactly what we think they should be, but we don't want them to be identical to us. We want them to each be their own individual persons and just be the best they can be, I think.
That's what we had to do. We had to be the best we could do.
Yeah.
And I made sure that got the best of what they could afford. Thank you for moving there for our.
Thank y'all.
The group hug.
Group hug. Bring it in, everybody.
That's your best side.
Yeah.
That was so sweet. That was your best side. There you go.
And